welcome to Nice and Blunt. We're back for another podcast episode, and it's the last week before the
Mhm.
playoffs. And I think it's fitting that you and I are facing each other in the subscriber league. Don't you think so?
Oh, we're not just facing each other. It genuinely matters. Like
To
that's the other
you,
part of it. Well, and to you, because like you're playing for a bye week. Like, yeah,
right?
you're guaranteed to make the playoffs, but like it matters way more to me. Let's
It's
be
yeah.
let's be upfront here.
It's
I'm in the playoffs now.
I mean,
No, meaning
it's it's
like
it's it's not relevant to me in the same way of like elimination, but because of your situation, yeah, this is a
I'm in the
playoff game for
playoff.
you.
I'm in the playoffs, meaning yes, it is win or go home.
Yeah.
100%.
Let
Just
me
with
let
the
me pull it up for the viewers. The projection is very tight, 4 point win for you at the moment. I'm
Mhm.
rolling with Caleb at the moment, Jameer Gibbs, Isaac Garendo, T. Higgins, Jamison Williams, Johnny Smith, Jalen Warren, Steelers defense, and Cameron Dicker. Your roster, you've got Jameis Winston at quarterback.
Mhm.
That's definitely a coin flip how that's going to go. Brees Hall, Chase Brown,
Guaranteed
Justin
win.
Jefferson, JSN, Kyle Pitts, Garrett Wilson, Bucks defense, and John Parker Romo. How do
Mhm.
you feel?
Honestly, about as confident as I can. Before I had Kirk Cousins in there, he's just looked so bad, like
Yeah,
especially that last game. So I just had to get rid of him. And I guess it was kind of between Jameis and Russ, but I don't know. Like I think that the Browns are gonna have to throw the ball. I'm getting a good feeling from that for sure. So
Jameis chucks it. He throws it so much. He's probably one of the
yeah.
most entertaining players to watch because like on any play, it can be great for either team.
And he's just so weird. I guess like someone had a really funny comment where it was like a clip of Jameis and he's just babbling in an interview, making absolutely no sense. And they were like, he has the opposite kind of CTE that Antonio Brown has. It's just like, like the dude is just he's just gonna heave it. He's great for fantasy because he's gonna take these deep shots and just keep throwing and not really care.
I
So
remember when he had that 30-30 season, I was starting him a lot and like I was rolling with Fitzpatrick earlier that season or something. Like the two of them in Tampa were combined. And like, I remember one game, I think he was in London, and I woke up. I was on the West Coast, and it was like mid game. He had three interceptions already, with
mhm.
like 300 yards at halftime practically, and he finished the game with six interceptions, five touchdowns, and like 500 yards. It was like a 45-point game with
Yeah.
all these picks. It was fucking insane.
He's gonna keep throwing it, and that's what I need. Like I need like you got to go for it.
With these
And I
bonuses, I think you're making a good call. I am afraid of Jameis on the opposite side, and I have a question for you. I saved this for the recording. Please be honest, because obviously you're facing me, and you might just want to get me to punt. But are you more afraid of Caleb Williams at quarterback or Jared Goff against you? Who scares you more?
so it for me it's like I would prefer you do golf for me only because then I just need one thing to happen. I just need the Lions to have a bad game, if that makes sense. Because you also
Uh,
have Jameer Gibbs and Jamison Williams.
yes,
So
I have a
that's less things I need to go right for me. Like by you introducing Caleb in there, who again like they're playing San Fran, and
yeah.
that team was looking rough just in terms
Their
of
defense is
injuries.
depleted.
So I would, and Caleb's been looking good recently
Right.
too, is
Oh
the
yeah.
thing.
Fourth quarter is like insane for Caleb.
So he's been playing really, really well lately. So I would much rather have like the one consolidated bet. It's kind of like in best ball where you take stacks because like you're making a bet. Like, cool, I'm taking these stacks of players because the bet in this draft is that the Browns are going to be better than expected or that the
Hmm.
Bucks are better than expected. So I prefer Goff. I'm a bit more scared of Caleb because he has just been playing so well, for sure. And the change in coordinator seems to have helped that
And
quite a bit.
and now the coach is gone. Like,
And
oh,
now the coach is
they're
gone.
free
There
in.
is that bump. I don't know what that is. Like, I'd love to have a psychologist break that down one day. Like, what is that coach firing bump that teams get that one week? It usually isn't sustainable. Like, they always come back down to like their sucky nature. But you do get a bump
Yeah,
where maybe the team is just like, ooh, boy.
it's like the Saints when they won. They beat the Falcons after they fired Davis Allen. Dennis
Oh, and
Allen.
the Panthers, like after they sat Bryce Young, it's like when there's a massive change
Right.
it makes the organization, at least for those next few weeks or 1 week, kind of seem really, really good. And you're like, oh, the problem's fixed. But then, so you got that going for you, which is great.
Yeah, I think there because of last year when Goff had 3 fumbles against the Packers at home on Thanksgiving,
Mhm.
I see the world where like, yeah, if I hit on that Jamison Williams stack, like I'm living. But if Goff
Yeah.
fucking sucks, then all 3 of them could burn me, and then you probably win
Yeah.
kind of guaranteed. So
I
I'm
mean,
I'm
you
kind of just
want to
avoiding the worst
diversify.
case scenario.
Yeah, it's a lot better for you to diversify. If the situation was reversed though, where like you needed the win kind of like I do, then you're a little bit playing for upside. Maybe then you kind of think about that, but I kind of get where you're coming from. Like I'd pick Caleb personally. How much did you pay for
Wait,
Garendo?
give me 1 second.
You got Garendo for $8? God, I should have saved more money.
I looked at the budgets and I saw like half the league that was like gonna spend had a max at 7, so I was like, all right, well I'm bidding 8. I got the budget, and like if someone wants to go 10, then I'll live with
How did
that. But
like Salisbury not do it, or like any of those teams that
you
I
know,
don't know.
sometimes I think just having to do that on Thursday night, like put in all the bids, like some people just forget
Yeah.
sometimes. But I literally got tied at $8, I believe. Or no,
Mhm.
no, Nakua bid 7. His max was 7, and I got him at 8.
Nice, real nice.
Yeah, but I'm glad that you said you were more afraid of Caleb, because that is who I was planning to start. I really see more of an upside with Caleb. But
He's
yeah,
just again, he's been playing good. And like, yeah, listen, you got a great team. You got lucky in I don't know if it was this league, but a league we played where you played Jalen Warren and he got a touchdown.
no, that was not luck, man. That was pure strategy. I knew that touchdown was coming, bro. Do not call that luck. I literally
Uh,
called that
all right.
fucking week, bro.
All right, there you go. Well, you got it. So let's see if that happens again.
Against Cleveland, Jalen Warren plays like lights out, and I just think the volume's a bit safer for him than Pacheco this week. I think
Yeah,
you telling me to pump the brakes on Pacheco was wise, and I ignored you. And this week with
yeah,
Garendo, I'm gonna pass on Pacheco.
I get it. I'm glad I don't have to face Nico. Like
Yeah,
if I'm,
you
you
lucked out
know,
there.
he's
Lucked
been
out
playing
there.
great. So yeah, I'm just super glad he's not in there.
One thing I really don't understand about this is in my projection, they're giving Justin Herbert like the best game this week, and I don't see that at all. With like no
Yeah.
weapons, McConkey banged up, and against the Chiefs, like
Yeah.
Herbert needs to run for like 70 to even come close to Caleb, in my view. And they give him the highest projection. I don't understand that at all.
It feels very recency bias where they're like, oh, this has been happening lately. But like, I think they're still going to want to run the ball. I think they're going to want to.
I don't think they can against the Chiefs with Gus. They're
Yeah.
gonna have to throw it. I just think it's a heavy defense game. I think
Yeah.
if they have a chance to win, it's on defense. But
Yeah. Sure.
what I noticed this ever since Dobbins went out, opposing defenses have been playing man against
Mm,
the Chargers, and up until that point, they were like kind of forced to go zone because the run game was so good. So Herbert has
mm,
been rough since Dobbins has gone down because of
yeah.
that, and I'm a bit worried about it. But I don't want to drop him because I do not want to get burned by my favorite team's quarterback playing against me. Anyways,
100%.
I think we maybe talked about our matchup enough. Unless there's something else you want to bring up.
I just like I should win. Like again, I am such like a belief. Like if you showed
Should
me like
you?
how hold on. If you showed me at the beginning of the year when I took JSN, you're like, here's what's happening at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hot shit. That's what I needed. Like, I'm so glad like now the JSN stuff is really coming on full force. It's just that like Jefferson is playing badly. Brees Hall is not playing well. And Garrett Wilson, like it's
And
all these
Kyle Pitts has like 2 straight bagels.
it's like the studs that I drafted are just not coming through, and that's the problem. Like Chase Brown, like that's what sucks about this team. Chase Brown and Jackson Smith and Jigba are the two people I was like, okay, I need you to come through for me. Like they were my speculative guesses, and they hit.
Right.
That's the fucked up part. Is they actually hit. It's the guaranteed studs that I paid all that draft day capital for. They are not hitting. And
Right.
that's what I mean by I should win. Is the two people I was like, let's speculate on this. I was right, but whatever. Anywho,
No, the Jets have been such a letdown, and then Jefferson's just not finding the end zone lately, and then Pitts has just
um,
evaporated. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
well, I think with Pids, it's like that the Falcons just the passing attack just seems kind of rough. Like Cousins, I don't know if he's hurt or whatever, but there's just a weird thing there. And I really don't. Normally, I'm like, oh, Kirk Cousins revenge game. This should be great for him. I don't know if I believe it.
My only like sliver of hope for the Falcons is that last week Cousins looked ahead so much to this game against the Vikings, and he completely like ignored the threat of the
Yeah.
Chargers defense and just if he didn't look like he didn't have any velocity, then I would probably chalk it up to just that and the Chargers being so good. But when you
Mhm.
saw those picks and like the ball was like fluttering
Mm,
and like he does not have the power. So I don't think they can bench him for this game. Like if there's one game he was promised, it was this fucking game once they drafted Penix. And I think
100%.
if he loses, I think he's gone.
Yeah.
And I think he loses.
I
Um,
think they're gonna lose. I mean, look, like for a fact Kevin O'Connell knows how to get Kirk Cousins. You know what I mean? Like he's just
yeah.
going to he's gonna meet with Brian Flores and be like, listen, just run this, run that, and you'll get like 5 picks on the night. Like they're
Hmm.
going to know how to do that. Uh
If you're Sam Darnold, you got to feel like so great about the next payday. Like it's probably not with Minnesota, but knowing that Cousins
no.
off an Achilles was able to get that much because of
Oh
his
yeah.
tenure with Kevin O'Connell, like Sam Darnold's fucking living.
Well, that's why I mean, we don't have to talk about this for too long. I don't really think that the Jets should bring Rodgers back at all.
Oh,
Like
fuck no.
but
Fuck
especially
no.
and then it's like, where's he going to go? Because like I'd if I'm a franchise, I'd rather have Sam Darnold than him.
Yeah,
He's
100%.
younger and like not injured and
Hmm.
he's playing better. So they're just it's like I don't even think he's gonna have a place to go.
I don't want to spend too much time on this because I'm tired of talking about the Jets, but I
Yeah.
think up until last week, I had three teams that could be interested, and one was Cleveland. I think that
Yeah.
one's gone with now that Jameis is playing well. Like I think Jameis is going to stay. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe he doesn't. Maybe somebody else pays for him. But I think Cleveland with the Deshaun Watson situation could consider it, but it's
Yeah.
a lot of money to invest. I doubt it. The only other one I thought like could be in the mix would be like Carolina, but I think Bryce Young has earned another
Hmm.
year, and obviously the rookie contract, you got to stick with that. I thought Will Levis for a little bit maybe gets replaced in Tennessee, but same situation like the contract. He's also played well enough to I think to maybe warrant another year. And then the last team, the only one I think could consider it would be the Raiders, but I think they're going to be in line for a high end pick, and they probably just go draft someone instead. I
That's
think
the
I think Rogers is done, man.
yeah, for sure.
Anyways, maybe we talk about the standings in the subscriber league because this is I don't like it's fitting that you and I are facing off against each other, but I feel like the schedule maker, like the fantasy
Uh,
gods, like set up the perfect matchups. Like it could not be
100%.
almost like any
Yeah.
more ideal in terms of who's facing off against each other. Here's the scoreboard, and we mentioned our matchup. If you win, you get in. If you don't, you're gonna need some tiebreakers to go your way. But
No, it's so the big problem, and I think Goat mode is playing against, I think, Pasture. Isn't that what it
no, let me
is?
scroll down. Goat mode at 6 and 7 is facing off against Hawktua Moon at 6 and 7. So one of them will have 7 wins, and they both have like very high points. Like it's kind of unfortunate that one of
Yeah,
them will miss because both of them are over 1,500 in terms of points, and they
yeah.
both rank top 3 in scoring. So one of them is going to miss, and one of them is clearly going to have all the tiebreakers at 7 wins to get in.
Yeah, so that's why I have to win. I'm at least grateful it's not one of those situations where it's like I have to win, but also this person has to lose, and I have to, like there's
Yeah,
only one condition to get in, which I do appreciate, because then you're just like, it was just me. Like
yeah.
it was my team. I had a shot, like
You
whatever.
control your own destiny.
Yeah.
And
Last year, I remember I had to also have someone else lose, and I had to beat them by a little bit. So it was like this
yeah,
weird game of like, fuck, I can't relax, or oh no. And then I think like Dak took a knee, and that's what helped me get like it was some insane thing like that. But yeah,
yeah. You squeaked in as the 7 seed, well the points, and you made it to the championship. But
that's what it would be this year too. I'd be squeaking in as the final seed, which God forbid I do well at this fucking league. I started out so poorly. I start out so poorly. I go like 0-4 or like 1-4 every year, and then I just have to claw back with a massive win streak.
Let me just pull up your schedule real quick.
Agony.
You had 4 straight losses,
Yep.
then 7 straight wins, and now 2 straight L's.
Yep.
Wow, 7 straight wins. Jesus, that's impressive, man. But
Yep.
it might all be for naught if I beat you.
In three, this is separate. In 3 leagues I played in, I went a month and a half without losing a game a
Wow.
week in any of the leagues, which
That
was just a wild experience of
yeah,
sitting there like, fuck, this is
that's
fantastic. I'm crashing down.
that's pretty fun. Okay, so we mentioned Goat Mode and
Yep.
Hawk Tuah. Let's pull up their matchup just because that one's like clearly the winner here should get in. Actually, it's technically possible that doesn't happen because there are 3 teams at 7 wins already, and all 3 of them would have to win. Johnny Football and Nakua Matata, as well as you, could
Yeah.
bounce both of these teams if whoever wins, just because you have 8 wins and they have
Yep.
7. So it's possible they actually don't make it. But at the moment, Goat Mode is favored by almost 30 points. It's a pretty steep climb. And are there like heavy bench players on bye? Oh yeah, the Hawk Tuah roster has Lamar on bye, Dalton Schultz
Boy.
on bye, Ramondre Stevenson on bye, and
But he did this, remember he drafted Josh Allen too, so he does have an elite
right.
quarterback in there.
Actually, yeah, the
Uh,
starting roster is not too bad with Allen, A Chain, Kamara, DJ
it's
Moore,
just Goat
McConkey.
Mode's team is projected for 130.
Yeah, Goat Mode
That's
has a
a
fucking
lot.
monster roster.
That's a great team.
I
I'd like him out of the playoffs. So
huh?
like if I'd love to keep him out of the playoffs. So
I would love that too. Yeah.
let's
Goat Mode scares the shit out of me with Jalen Hurts, Saquon, Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, George Pickens, Kelsey, James Conner. Bengals defense this week. I don't know about that. That is dicey as fuck. Tyler
Mhm.
Bass, and then on the bench, Flowers, Swift, Keenan, TJ
Mhm.
Hawkinson, Amari Cooper, Brian Thomas. I think the only problem with this team is like it feels so loaded. I feel like you can make mistakes in terms of who you're benching.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you got a really solid like 1-2 punch with Hurts and Barkley.
Oh god, that's a nightmare.
Like that's real solid.
That's scary as fuck. Um, I really regret trading him Brian Thomas. In all honesty,
I mean, I think Lawrence is going on IR now, or
you sure? Just off the concussion? I don't know about that.
or like he's missing, like he's at least gonna miss a week. Like I don't know. I
Yeah,
think
but
he thinks
last 2 games with Mac Jones, like Thomas is getting double-digit targets. Thomas still playing well. Thomas looks fucking insane. I heard this about the Chargers. If they were able to trade down, if they had a second first round pick, they would
yeah.
have taken Brian Thomas if they didn't
Mhm.
take Joe Alt. Like at number 5, they were actually considering Brian Thomas over Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, yeah, I get that, man. I will say I'm excited for this upcoming draft as a Chargers fan. I
Oh
think
yeah.
I think we have 8 picks, something
I don't
like
know
that.
those details yet. I
We
haven't
have
I haven't
eight
looked into
picks,
that,
and we're
but
gonna have top 5 in cap space. So like
I think we're
that
getting T Higgins, bro. I think we're gonna get T Higgins.
and see that's great. Like I would love to do that. So
Would fucking love it. Um, but yeah, Goat Mode's roster like scares the shit out of me in the playoffs. If I get the 3 seed and he's the 7 seed, I don't want to deal with that matchup at all. I'd be fucking scared, man.
yeah,
Uh, please, Hawk Tuah, save us from Goat Mode.
yeah.
You're our only hope. But we'll probably see a Goat Mode win. That's my guess. I don't want to
That's my
write
guess.
off
I mean,
Hawk Tuah, but the projection I think is pretty indicative.
yeah, for sure.
We also have another team like you that's at 7 wins that needs to win and get in. Nakua Matata, Matt Barrero, is
Mm,
projected to beat Salisbury Suicide, the 1 seed, by 5 points at the moment. And I think
yep.
they lucked out with some bye weeks. Yeah, Salisbury has Terry and Jaden Daniels on bye, and that's pretty
Oh, that's
huge.
huge. That's huge for sure.
But it's still pretty close. I can't say for sure who's going to win. I think Montgomery's going to go off tonight though. So Matata made a recent trade that should pay off. But beyond
Yeah,
that, they got Tank Bigsby.
that's
Uh,
rough. That's rough. I was
with
like, wait a second. That's
because
problematic.
Mixon's on bye.
Yeah. Oh, that sucks.
And then they're going with Puka, Malik Neighbors, Nick Westbrook, Akine over Jordan
Uh,
Addison. I think I'd go Addison over Akine, man.
I think if anything, the Vikings are gonna want to run up the score just because like I think it's emotional for them too going against Kirk. Like
Oh
there's not gonna
yeah.
be any sort of like they especially because it's at Viking Stadium. Like there's gonna
Yeah.
be a big crowd sense of like, hey, fuck this guy.
That crowd is like one of the scariest home field advantage. Like I feel
Mm.
like if you go into that building, it's like 98% Vikings fans. Like they
Oh yeah,
love that team and it sells out with like such a there's almost no road fans unless it's like an NFC North game and like players, fans from Detroit are there. But
yeah,
no, that's a tough environment.
yeah. It's gonna be rough for sure. On the other side, Josh Jacobs is really coming alive. You love to see that.
Mhm.
That's been a slow burn for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Jaden Reed is a player. Like, I don't know what your Jaden Reed opinion is, but some people are really high on Jaden Reed and consider him like a top 10 receiver. And like, have said crazy things like, oh, I trade CeeDee Lamb for him now. And I'm just like, I get it. He's super talented, but also he needs to score or he's just doing nothing for you.
Well, that's the thing though. He almost always finds the end zone. Like he's a reliable player to actually
Yeah.
score. So I like him, especially with Dobbs out tonight. I think he's gonna have a huge game. But I wouldn't put him top 10. I ranked him at number 11, and that's only because Dobbs is out. Like because of
Yeah.
their platoon, you can get burned by him at any time. Like week 1, I think he put up like 35 points, and then he
Oh,
had a,
yeah.
a rough stretch in the middle there, and then he's started to step back up lately. But
Well, because even like the week one, like the usage was the same week one to the shitty weeks. It was just he happened to have like a one catch for 40 yards and then like a 50-yard run. It was like these insane, massive plays. So yeah,
he's so explosive. I like him a lot, but I wouldn't put him top 10. Like for fantasy or like NFL wise, top 10.
this was fantasy. It
No,
was a couple people, and it was especially after the Dak injury. A lot of people saying like, "Oh, trade Lamb for Reed," and I was like, I don't know if like I'm comfortable with that, just because like I'd rather get the guaranteed volume, even if Lamb's never going to score again.
I understand like making that consolidated bet of like, yeah, there's more upside here, but no, I don't think I'd make that trade myself either. Just because the role that Lamb has and too many other mouths to feed in Green Bay. A little too
Yeah.
touchdown dependent to be top 10.
Mhm.
Um, but he's really good. He's definitely like a player I'd like to have. Like just like Jamison Williams, like he's the type of guy that you kind of want in the flex because he can pop off for 30 points any week and you wouldn't be shocked. But like that can win you the entire season in the
Mhm.
playoffs. But yeah, it's gonna be a close one, and I think just because I'd like to see some chaos, I kind of want Nakua Matata to lose. But
I
uh,
know, just because that would be insane to be like way up there like that and just be knocked.
not
Yeah.
not anything personal. I just think it's kind of entertaining to see like the last
Oh yeah.
week rotation of those
And
playoff
and it
spots.
be by points. You're like, oh, it's this weird point loss that got you. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. There is like a lot of points that Matata would need to make up to like
Mhm.
warrant a top 6 seed. Like I don't think Matata has top 6 points. Am I wrong about that?
No, because like the problem is goat like the winner of the goat mode Hawk Tua game, either of them is gonna beat him, probably.
Is top 5 in points though.
And then the next one is Pasture versus Sun God, and so it would have to
Right.
be Pasture
Let me pull that
appearance
up.
winning. Here we can
So
look at that next.
okay, here it is on the screen. Pasture interference, last year's champion, is on the outside the playoffs at the moment with 6 wins. Geez, here it is on the screen. 6 and 7 for both teams, Pasture and Sun God Squad. And winner will obviously have a chance to have the tiebreakers. But unlike Goat Mode and Haktua, they do not have the favorable points in terms
Hmm.
of tiebreakers. Like they're both outside of the top 6 in terms of points. The interference does have the higher point total. They're number 7, but Sun God Squad is at number 11. So even if Sun God Squad wins, I can't really envision this team having the tiebreakers to get in. Like it's possible. It's not
Oh yeah, I don't think it's even really possible because they're not going to be able to beat the winner of Hawk Tuah or Goat Mode like for that.
Yeah.
And then yeah,
They might as well be eliminated. They're technically not. It's like there's a sliver of hope, but they need to like outscore another 7-win team by like 100 points this week. It's really unlikely.
for sure.
So we'll see about that. Just because of the chaos, I guess now I'm rooting for interference, just because it's more likely for him to actually take a spot than Sun God Squad. But you never know.
For sure.
This matchup is, what's the projection? It's heavily favoring the interference, and
Yeah.
are bye weeks a factor? Not really. I mean, he has Richardson on bye, Sun God does, and other than that, it's not really that big of a. He has Jonathan Taylor on bye and Mark Andrews, so um, I doubt it works out, but I think
Yeah,
interference will win.
for sure. And then the other, I think the last matchup we have there, it's kind of the the consolation game. It's the two eliminated teams
Right.
off with each other. One of them who has Christian McCaffrey in his starting spot.
I think he
Which
knows that this week doesn't mean anything, and he's just
I get
letting
it.
us know the reason why he lost. Like he's pretty rough after his injury. Like even Jordan Mason's out. Like
Yeah.
that's pretty rough. But I think it's ideal that he's not like gonna impact the
God, he had a
standings.
9 game losing streak. That sucks so much.
not
Two
to
months
not to shit on you too much.
straight.
Fight me,
Two
bro.
months straight of losing. That sucks. God, that's not even a break. He got no breaks in the night.
I need to pull up his schedule now that you bring it up. Okay, so
That
he
sucks.
went 3-1 and hasn't won since. Oh shit.
That's wild to
That's
me. Holy
rough.
shit.
That's rough.
Well, because
Since
he had Rashi Rice in the beginning, and so like he was just killing it, and then he,
ooh,
man,
what's shocking is that he hasn't gone over 116 since week 1. That was his highest score all season. Damn. Oh, that's a rough year, bro.
a
Just
rough,
just not your
rough
season.
Rough go of it, Nick.
I
Yeah, you drafted. You were the team I was most scared of on draft day. I remember that specifically being like, "Oh shit, we fucked up and let this guy draft a super team," and it looks like it, and it just all went to shit as it does.
oh, rough break. Yeah, he had the Lamb Dak stack.
Mhm.
McCaffrey. Oh shit.
McCaffrey with the backup and Rocky Rice, like it was just
And
perfect.
George Kittle. And
And
George
Kittle.
Kittle.
And George Kittle and Tank Dell on draft day. So
Yeah, that
like when
at
I
that
saw Tank
time
at that time, I
there
was
was a
like,
big
"Oh shit, here
belief.
comes Tank Dell." And then like his worst thing was Raheem Mostert as his RB2, which did suck. But again, draft day,
No,
I
it
thought that
was it was
was
worrisome.
yeah, like that was the most worrisome part. But I thought that was fixable. Fucking
Damn.
hell.
Yeah. To
But
not score over 100 in over two months. Jesus. I'd have a rough go of that. Sorry, fight me for bringing that up, but
sorry.
someone's gonna finish last. That's just how it goes.
You
Better luck
deserve
next year.
it.
There's one more matchup though, and this one is kind
Oh
of
God.
a fight for the 1 seed as well as a playoff spot. This one also has major playoff implications, and it's River Rat versus Johnny Football.
Yeah.
And currently, River Rat is the 2 seed. Football would be the 4 seed.
Yeah.
And I think even if Johnny Football loses, they're probably going to squeak in on points. Like if
For
Matata and you
sure.
lose, I think he's guaranteed a spot. And even if you win, he might
Yeah.
still get that 6 seed.
Yeah, Brock Bowers, way to draft. Like that was the right move at tight end for sure. And then also
Yeah.
like Chase and AJ Brown as your receivers, that's great.
Oh,
Bucky
River Rat's
Irving,
team is a
Bucky
gauntlet.
Irving really coming on with like how Bucky Irving's coming on, like holy shit. Yeah, really good stuff.
Yeah, he had Kareem Hunt for a while, and now that Pacheco's back, it's
Mm.
like, okay, well, I was actually like, okay, well, he's gonna drop off. Now that he has Tracy as RB2, like, I don't fear him as much. But with Bucky looking like a stud, Jesus, yeah, this team is a nightmare to face off.
Good looking team.
This might be the favorite River Rats team with
Yeah.
Mahomes, Bijan, Bucky Irving, AJ Brown, Jamar Chase, Brock Bowers, Tyrone Tracy, Chiefs defense, Jake
Yeah.
Elliott, and then a bunch of backup running backs. Like the bench is so irrelevant. The starters are just like
Yeah.
Jesus. Um,
Yeah. I don't know what's stopping that besides just like an exceptionally unlucky week.
yeah.
Like
Maybe
not
maybe
like
Mahomes shit in the bed.
like if you ran it 7 times, he'd probably at least the worst he'd do is 4-3. But that's why I like fantasy football, is he could just have a bad week.
Any
And
given
then
week, man. Any given week. But I would love that for River Rat to not get a. Here's the thing. If I get a bye, I really don't want River Rat to get a bye because then someone has a chance to knock him off in week 15. But if I don't get a bye, I really hope that River Rat does get a bye because then I
yeah,
really want to avoid him. I'd be
100%.
fucking terrified.
Yeah. No, I know it. I totally get what you mean.
He probably gets a bye though. I have a hard time seeing him not get a bye. But Johnny Football still gonna have a shot. He's got the Kyler Murray, Trey McBride stack as always. Kenneth
Hmm.
Walker been a big letdown. James Cook played well, but
Debo been a massive letdown.
oh god, Debo's been shitty. He also ran out of a fab budget, so he can't make a single waiver wire pickup. And
Hopefully your kicker doesn't get hurt as it happened, or your tight end. Oh no, you have a Cole Kmet. That's okay, and
he's
you have a backup quarterback.
he's got some depth, but if he loses Debo or Waddle, he's got to start Christian Watson or Roma Dunze. Like the bench is thin. Honestly, I think I'd start Tua this week over Kyler.
I would start Tua this week for sure.
Tua's playing great.
I like Tua this week for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, he looks good.
really nice. So I'm pulling for you, Johnny, but I've spoken to him. I faced off against him last week. I barely beat him by 3 points because I started the Cowboys over the Steelers,
Mm,
and the Cowboys got 5 extra points than Pittsburgh.
nice.
Excuse me. So yeah, I clinched my playoff spot, beating Johnny Football, and yeah, Walker really let him down. Big bummer there. But he was down by 16 going into Monday Night Football. He got 2 pick sixes from the Broncos, and I still beat him by
Brutal.
3 points.
So brutal.
Oh, real tough. But those are all the matchups. Did we skip one?
I don't think we did. I think it's just kind of we're down to like there's not a lot of long-term discussion to be had. It's just a lot of like,
Yeah,
all right, this is it.
do or die. But I love that there's only like yeah, there's 2 teams eliminated, but still like most everyone is still alive. You know, it's
Well, for sure, like I like 100% there are like what is that? 8 teams that have a really true shot at making it.
mhm.
And then even there are those other like more wild card teams in Pasture and Sun God, but man, it's tight.
Yeah.
It's a tight race for sure. You always need 8 wins. That's kind of how it's been the past couple of years. You got to get to 8 to
Seven
make.
only can get in with points, but 8 usually clinches. All right, so we kind of wrapped up the subscriber league playoff picture. We'll see how those matchups turn out and update you next week. But I thought it'd be fun for the rest of the video. We're gonna talk NFL, and me and Angus are gonna go game by game for the next 5 weeks, the remainder of the season, make some win loss picks, and use something called the ESPN Playoff Machine. You guys can do this at home. It's pretty fun. It gives you every single matchup. You make your picks, and then it automatically applies all the tiebreakers and seeding, and then you get your own playoff bracket that you can predict from this point. So, Angus, I put in all my picks this week, and you kind of maybe don't buy into the Chargers. Like we both know that might be a little unlikely, but you're not vetoing any of these picks this week, so we'll keep it as
Correct.
is, and then we'll go the
Yeah.
rest of the week 15 we'll do together, and then 16, 17, 18 as well. So,
Correct.
Jamison Williams just almost scored a touchdown. Just big play for JMO as we're recording this. Lions game just
Not
started.
great.
But okay, I'll give you the lead on week 15. On Thursday, who you got? Niners hosting the Rams.
That I'll probably pick Rams.
I would agree. I'm off the Niners at this point. I think this is the nail. I don't think they win this
Yeah.
week, but mathematically, if the Rams beat them, I think they'd be eliminated from the division.
Mhm.
Ravens.
Next up, I for sure doing Ravens.
Yeah, Ravens at
Over-
Giants. Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, Jags hosting the Jets.
I should pick the Jets. I'd prefer it be the Jets.
uh,
What do you think?
I think if Lawrence plays, I'd go Jaguars, but let's say Lawrence is
Yeah,
out. Let's go,
yeah.
I'll go Jets. That one's
All
kind of
right.
irrelevant for the playoffs. It's kind of more so, do the Jags get the 1 seed or not? I'll go Jets.
Yeah,
Who you got? Panthers hosting the Cowboys.
that should be Cowboys.
I would agree, but I
It
wouldn't be
should.
totally shocked. Panthers have been tough lately, but I'll go Cowboys. I like their defense right now.
Hmm.
Saints host the Commanders.
Commanders off the bye feels pretty good.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Titans host the Bengals.
Boy, I mean, the Bengals have to just kind of be feeling really shitty.
I think this is upset, man. I'm gonna
I
go
think
Titans.
I think Titans. Yeah.
Former offensive coordinator against former
Yeah.
team. Bengals defense sucks. I'm going Titans.
Yeah.
At this
I
point,
agree.
that's kind of good for the Bengals. Get Joe Burrow a high draft pick.
For
Um,
sure.
Jameer Gibbs with a reception brings it
No,
in
it gets called back.
carries it inside the 15. Almost another touchdown, but nope, not yet. Uh, Browns host the Chiefs.
I'll pick Browns here.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't do that, man. I'm gonna veto that.
All right. I would pick Browns.
I'd
I'm
love
like,
to
I
see
don't
it,
know,
but I'm not gonna let that slide.
feeling wily.
I'm gonna veto that. Sorry. I'll go with the Chiefs. But would love to see that happen. I would love that, man. I think the next week though is that Christmas game against the Steelers. We'll see about
Mm.
that, but I'll take the Chiefs over the Browns. I'll
Sure.
veto you on only a few, but that one's
Coward.
one I'm gonna use.
You absolute coward. All right.
um, Texans host the Dolphins.
I'll do Dolphins here.
Same.
Because the weather's not going to be too cold. The
It's a
Dolphins are
dome.
doing
It's a
pretty
dome.
good. Yeah. So like I'll say Dolphins.
Yeah,
Because they're
Texans have
still
been
they're still trying to get something.
lackluster.
Hmm.
Okay, so we go Dolphins there. What about Denver hosting the Colts?
It's probably Denver for me. Like they're playing just way better than the Colts.
Off the bye, I'll give it to Denver.
Yeah.
Cardinals host the Patriots.
I would love it to be the Patriots.
I think it could be the Patriots, man.
I would love it to be the Patriots. Yeah.
I'm gonna go
That's what
Patriots.
I'm
I see
thinking.
an upset. Let's go
Yeah.
Patriots. Lions hosting the Bills. Ooh, it's a good game.
I I think Bills, man, just like the
Yeah.
Lions have had such a gauntlet since Thanksgiving. Like even to this game, like
Mm-hmm.
it's just like and the injuries are piling up. Like they just
So
have
many
to be.
injuries.
So like and Buffalo is I think a top five team right now. So I would pick the Bills.
This,
Just
this is a
so
Super Bowl
exhausted.
preview that we probably won't get, but I would love to
Yeah.
see. I'm gonna go
It just
Bills.
seems too exhausting for him.
I remember there was like a Bills Lions game a couple years ago, and it was like a massive shootout, but the Bills won. I think they'll win
Mm.
again.
Hmm.
Chargers hosting the Buccaneers.
Well, I would love it to be the Chargers for sure
I
at home.
I think to keep it interesting in that NFC South, let's go Chargers here.
Yeah.
Let's give it to the Chargers. Eagles hosting the Steelers.
Eagles hosting the Steelers. I'm gonna give it to the Eagles.
Same. Battle of
I,
Pennsylvania. I'll give it to Philly.
the Eagles look so good. The
Right.
defense looks really good, and the offense looks really good. So I'm gonna give it to the Eagles.
Same. Seahawks host the Packers.
I'm tempted to say Seahawks.
Tempted, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna go Packers.
Yeah. All right. I'll agree with that one.
Vikings host the Bears.
Man, I'm not sure. I think Vikings.
I'm gonna go Vikings. I think if they
Yeah.
sniff the division lead this week with like a
Yeah.
loss for like
Here
if
we
the
go.
Lions are vulnerable, I think they're gonna play so well and beat
There's
Chicago.
that Montgomery touchdown I need for best ball.
Yeah, Montgomery just scored. And they needed a penalty on third and goal to get him
Hmm.
that touch. But
Hmm.
they'll be back in the red zone again. I'm sure I'll get a touchdown from one of JMO or Gibbs. Last
Hmm.
game, Monday Night Football. Raiders
Who
host
cares?
the
Just
Falcons.
absolutely who
I
cares?
think Penix is going to play though, man. I think Penix will be the starter.
Yeah. Boy, like if they're gonna start him against any team, it should probably be the Raiders.
I would go
Um,
Falcons, bro.
I think the Falcons.
Yeah.
The Raiders are just so bad. Like they're just a bottom team.
Okay, so now week 16, I'll still let you take the lead on this. Chargers host the Broncos Thursday night.
What happened the
The
first time we played the Broncos? Did
Chargers
we
won
win?
the first one in Denver.
I'm gonna say Denver
Yeah, I
wins.
think they split.
I think they split. Yeah.
So Denver,
Whichever, yeah, whichever way it was the first time, I think it'd be the opposite this time.
yeah,
So yeah,
I doubt
they
they get swept. With no Dobbins, I doubt it.
Broncos split. I think the Chiefs beat the Texans. This is a game I would have thought would be an upset at the beginning of the year. The Texans just don't look quite the same to
Yeah,
me.
I agree.
I think Chris Jones could just decimate this game. So yeah.
Yeah, they'd need a huge game from Tank Dell, who's been
Yeah.
so abysmal. Like
Kind of similar here with Steelers Ravens. Who won the first time? It was the Steelers, right?
Steelers won the first one.
Then I think it's Ravens.
I'll give it to the Ravens, but I could see Tomlin assert the dominance yet again. Like Tomlin has such a good record
Yeah.
against Baltimore. I
Yeah.
don't think this is like a clear, obvious pick, but yeah, I'll
I,
give it to
I
the Ravens as well.
I'm tempted to say Steelers, like truthfully, it's only because of the split nature of it,
I
but
I
yeah.
think because it's in Baltimore, I'm willing to agree with you. I'll give it to the Ravens, even split.
Mhm.
Bills host the Patriots.
I'd say Bills. I just kind of think that'll happen.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious. Jets host the Rams.
I'd give it to the Rams.
Yeah.
I think like that all of that is assuming health stays the same. I just think the Rams are a better coached team and
Hmm.
like at their apex a better team.
Yeah, I think that's pretty obvious at this point.
Here though, I will say Eagles.
Commanders, Eagles. I think Commanders can win this one, man. Like
All right, well I'll give you this one and I'll get the next one.
the recent games between these two teams have been so close, like especially in
Mhm.
Washington. I remember there was like an overtime game last year with Sam Howell against Jalen
Mhm.
Hurts. Like I think they'll split. I'm gonna give it to
Yeah,
Dan Quinn this time.
yeah.
Um,
This next one I think it's going to be the Giants.
really,
Just
you like Giants over Falcons? I'll give it to you.
just because I think the Falcons, like I'm kind of souring on them, and I think this will be one of those scenarios the Giants love to do where they just get themselves a worse draft pick.
Dable's coaching for his job, and if that's like the case, like at this point, yeah, okay, I could see it happen. It's definitely not impossible. I'll go Giants here.
Yeah.
Um, no, Cardinals at the Panthers.
Cardinals
Same. I think
for
Cardinals will
sure.
win. Bengals host the Browns.
Uh, See here, I'm tempted to say Browns again just because the Bengals look so ass,
I
and they
would go
kind of
Browns,
have Joe
man.
Burrow's number.
Joe Burrow sucks against them, even in Cincinnati. I'm going to go Browns here.
Yeah, so
Um,
I'd pick Browns.
Colts hosting the Titans.
I'd like it to be the Colts.
I'll give it to the Colts. Lions at the Bears.
I think this will be Lions.
Yeah, I think if they lose two, which is what we're giving them,
Yeah,
weeks 14, 15, I don't see them losing three.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it Lions. Seahawks host the Vikings.
Uh,
I kind of want to go Seahawks, man.
yeah, I'm thinking Seahawks too.
Yeah,
Apparently, like
Vikings aren't
Drake
like
Mayer's really tough.
that like unbeatable. I'll go
Yeah,
Seahawks there.
yeah.
Raiders host the Jags.
I'll give it to the Jags.
Yeah, I think the Raiders are more actively tanking than the Jags.
I think so too. Yeah.
But Bowers, man, Bowers versus Brian Thomas is an interesting battle.
Hmm.
Dolphins host the Niners.
Dolphins host the Niners. Boy, I think I'm just giving it to the Dolphins.
Yeah, I think Miami there. I think the
Yeah.
Niners are just done. Cowboys host the Bucks. I could see
I'd
a
say
sneaky upset there, man.
I'd say Bucks.
Really, I'll give it to you,
Yeah.
but I could see the Cowboys winning there.
Me too. Like I don't think they're gonna like I just feel like Tampa's playing for this like a playoff spot here.
They are, but I feel like it's gonna come down to the wire. Sunday Night Football. I I, I want to go Cowboys, but I think I took the last one. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to the Tampa. And the last game, Packers host the Saints. It's the Packers.
Yes.
Okay,
I would yeah.
so through week 16, our current playoff seeds in the AFC would be Bills, the 1 seed, followed by Kansas City, tied at 13 and 2. Then Steelers, 3 seed, Houston, the 4 seed. I doubt that changes for them. Ravens, the 5 seed, Chargers the 6th seed, and then Denver at 7. So not many changes in the AFC, but Bills do take the 1 seed, and then in the NFC, Lions are still holding on at 12-3 because I
Hmm.
gave the Commanders that win. But
Yeah.
Eagles at number 2, Tampa at number 3, and then Arizona hanging on as the 4 seed, but that's definitely
Hmm.
eligible to change. The Vikings, the 5 seed at 12-3, tied with Detroit. Packers, the 6 seed, and then 7 seed Washington set up for another matchup against Philly in the wild card round. So
Hmm.
2 weeks left. A few more 32 games left to pick. Let's keep it
Hmm.
rolling. Christmas
Uh,
Day, Steelers host the Chiefs.
I'll give it to the Chiefs.
I want to go Steelers, man.
I know what you mean.
I want to go Steelers so bad here.
All right, let's do Steelers. Let's see
Okay,
how that
let's
was.
do it. Let's do it.
Boy,
um,
that we're Buffalo taking the 1 seed. Isn't
so
that what that?
Also, that'd be the second year in a row the Chiefs lose on Christmas. That's
Yeah,
a perfect present, man.
yeah, man.
Perfect
That's so
gift.
cool.
Mahomes losing on Christmas. Ravens at the Texans.
I think it should be the Ravens.
I would
I just
agree.
think the Texans are for sure the weakest uh
Texans are so
playoff team.
vulnerable, and we've
Yeah,
been giving them a lot of losses here. Now they're 8-8. Like
yeah.
they could get caught by the Colts potentially, but I do
Mhm.
they have the tiebreaker. They beat the Colts twice
Yeah.
already. Bears hosting the Seahawks.
I'll give it to the Seahawks.
I like the Bears here, bro, but I
All
took
right.
the Steelers, so I'll give it to you.
All right.
Seahawks win. Keep that division real tight.
Mhm.
Rams hosting the Cardinals.
What are you feeling for this
I'm
one?
feeling Rams.
They're just such a good like I'd rather it be an LA team.
Oh, I wonder why. But no, Jared Verse, like
Yeah.
Aaron Donald used to like blow up Kyler so bad. I could see Jared
Mhm.
Verse doing the same. Let's go Rams.
And then next after that, I think like not to be a homer, but Chargers over Patriots.
Oh, that's 100% on Saturday. Yeah, but
Yeah.
real quick note on that Rams game. If they beat them based on our projections, they would take the lead in the division at 9-7. So I definitely think
Yeah.
Rams win. If that's on the line, for sure.
100%.
So Chargers beat the Patriots in New England. Then Bengals host the Broncos.
I think the Bengals are losing.
You know, in the offseason, I remember I picked this game for Denver, but I think at this
Yeah.
point, like we've given so many L's to Cincy. Like at some point, they're
But
gonna
do
do
do they
something.
eventually just sit people? Like I don't know if that's a thing that
Maybe,
happens.
but I doubt it. I can't see them giving up and quitting.
All right,
I,
then maybe we can give this one to Cincy.
I'll give it to Cincy. Let's keep that 7 seed open for a potential.
Hmm.
But yeah, probably Denver should win. They're the better team, but they
Yeah.
almost lost to Cleveland. If not for the pick sixes, they would have lost on Monday to
Mm.
Jameis. Um, ooh, Christian Watson almost just hit a fifth. Oh no, that was Dontavian Wicks. Real close. Anyways, viewers at home, you've already seen this
Um,
game, but
After that,
Commanders hosting Falcons.
I think Commanders over Falcons.
I think so too. Giants hosting the Colts. I think Colts
I'd give it to the Colts.
keep that
Yeah.
AFC South division
I
tight.
think the Bills sweep the Jets.
100%. Jags hosting the Tennessee Titans. We took Tennessee
I'll,
the first matchup.
I'll give it to the Jags and assume
Yeah,
Lawrence is
let's give it a
playing.
split. Bucks hosting Carolina.
I
Went
just
into
think the
overtime.
Bucks are a better
Yeah,
team.
yeah, I'll take the Bucks. It could pivot though.
Yeah.
It's possible, but I think Panthers had a better chance at home, not on the road. Now Vikings hosting the Packers. Huge game here.
Yeah, for sure.
Huge game.
Uh, I'm gonna say it's probably the Packers.
I was leaning Packers myself. Let's go
Yeah.
Packers. Saints host the
Boy,
Raiders.
does that put the Packers in the 1 seed?
It
Oh, well, I
does.
mean,
It does. It does. But the Lions still have a game left. Lions still have a game left.
I'm probably gonna pick Raiders.
I would totally pick Raiders. Have you seen the stat that Derek Carr has lost to every team in the league except for the Raiders, and he's the only quarterback to do that? Like the
Yeah,
next highest is 30 wins, so he has a chance to make history, losing
yeah.
against every team. It's gonna happen. The Raiders win.
I think they'll want to kick his ass. Like I think
Oh,
the Raiders understand
100%,
we're a
man.
bad team, but like if we could just have one good victory, it's this one.
If they had Taysom Hill, maybe they have a shot. But Bowers against Kamara.
And apparently, like the Saints don't like Derek Carr, so like,
No,
so I'm not too.
definitely not. Yeah,
I do think the Eagles beat the
I
Cowboys.
would agree. Yeah, Eagles beat the Cowboys. Now they're the one seed.
Now they're the one.
Um, Cleveland hosts Miami. That's a December game in Cleveland. That could be really rough
I'd
weather.
pick. I'd say Cleveland.
Yeah, same. And then Lions at
I'd
Niners.
say Lions with
Same.
Niners being what they are
Yeah,
now.
revenge for last year's playoff loss.
Mm-hmm.
Last week of the season, Lions still retain the one seed despite
Mm-hmm.
what happened over the course of the picks.
Mm-hmm.
Titans hosting the Texans.
I'll give this to the Texans. I
Dude,
think
I
we've
could
had
see a
them lose a
major
lot.
upset here, man.
I know what you mean. We just had them lose a lot. I don't.
Titans play them so close, man.
It depends if it matters.
It matters a lot. Not to
No, but
like
meaning so like if we give it to the Colts, like what happens against the Jags?
so let's pick these
So it's
two
for the
division games.
it's
Let's say Colts win and the Colts would be 9-8 and they would have the
yeah,
division. So the Titans
yeah,
could bounce Houston, bro.
yeah, for sure.
I'm taking Tennessee.
All right, let's do Tennessee.
Okay, so Tennessee
I like
and Indy win at home, and
yeah,
the Colts win that division. Damn,
yeah,
9-8. I did pick them for a wild card spot, but I also
yeah.
had the Texans as the one seed. So
I'd probably say Falcons over
Falcons
Panthers.
over Panthers. Yeah, Falcons are going to keep that division real close.
Yeah.
Falcons win. Bucks over Saints. Huge division rivalry. I think
Let's say I'm down to say Saints.
I kind of want to go Saints too.
Let's do Saints and
If
just kind of see what happens.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this because we picked both in division, even if the Saints win, the Bucks would still have the tiebreaker at 9-8. We
Mhm.
project the Falcons at 8 wins.
Yeah.
Falcons 8-7, or is that 8-9? 8-9 for
Yeah.
Atlanta. So even if they lose, the Bucks would have locked up the division based
Mhm.
on our projections. So yeah, let's give it to the Saints. Um, Rams hosting Seattle.
Boy,
I'd
this
go
is for
Rams.
Seattle to make the playoffs.
Same for the Rams.
Yeah, I know.
Only the division winner will get in here. Wait, first let's pick Arizona San Francisco.
Okay.
Arizona hosting San Fran. I could
I don't
kind
know
of
if
see a
San.
swan song game like for
Yeah,
San
I
Fran.
I kind of think San Fran.
Yeah, they have such a rough year. Like, give them a
I could
break.
see them being like, "Hey, let's go do this."
Yeah. Okay, so let's say San Fran spoils it for Arizona. It's gonna come down to
Hmm.
L.A. Rams versus Seattle. I gotta go
Hmm.
Stafford over Geno, man.
Yeah, I think they know what they're doing more. Bills again, like for sure.
So we're going with Rams. That means Rams win the
Yeah.
division at 10-7. Seahawks just miss at 9-8. But
Hmm.
yeah, I'm definitely going with Buffalo over New England. So Buffalo would go 15-2. They'd retain the one seed.
I'll do Miami over the Jets also.
Yeah, let's give Miami that one. And then Ravens hosting the Browns. I think Ravens, but
Yeah, I'll do Ravens.
and then the Steelers hosting the Bengals. Kind of want to go Bengals.
Yeah, I don't think the Bengals are gonna quit.
They almost
For sure.
won that other game, if not for like a pick six. Like they even came back and made it close. Like,
I think they'll want to play spoiler a little bit.
and the Steelers often kind of fall apart at the end of the year. You know,
Hmm.
like after that,
Hmm.
if we give him that Christmas Day win, I could see like an emotional letdown, and,
Yeah, for
and like they
sure.
fumble it away at the end. Russ is due for a bad game, right? Yeah,
He
let's give it
has
to
to be.
Cincy. So that would put Baltimore atop the division at 12-5.
Hmm.
Steelers 11-6.
Then moving on, I think Chiefs over Denver.
I could see Denver winning that, man.
You think so?
I could.
Yeah.
They almost won the first one. It's in Denver.
Yeah, and like
It's kind of
the Chiefs
irrelevant
might
for the
not care at this
Chiefs.
point. Like if they feel like, all right, we're not getting the one seed, let's just like it might be because like sometimes week 18 they rest
They
people.
they do. And based on our projections for Buffalo, at best they can do is tie. Like this game is irrelevant. The Chiefs would be the 2 seed, Bills would be the one. I think I think
Hmm.
I think Broncos care a lot more. And
Yeah,
yeah, let's give it to the
for sure.
Broncos at home. And then we're taking Chargers over the Raiders, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think so.
I kind of want to pull back a win from the Chargers now because that would set up a 3-6 matchup between the Harbaugh brothers again. So maybe
I'd
maybe
rather
we'll go
we
back and
I'd rather we get Indy in the playoffs to get one playoff win.
right. we'll see about that. But anyways, Cowboys hosting
I
Commanders.
don't know where it's coming because I really don't think we'll
Let's
lose
go
to the
back to it.
Raiders.
Let's go back to it after we
I
finish
really don't
this.
think we're going to lose to the Patriots. So 17-18, I can't see that unless it's just a total fuck up. And we
Well,
already gave them a loss to Denver in
let's
16.
just go back to it in a minute.
Okay.
Cowboys hosting the Commanders. Commanders, right?
It should be.
It's pretty
It should.
irrelevant though. Like Commanders stay at the 7 seed
I'm
regardless.
tempted to say Cowboys just because I can see the Commanders sitting everybody.
Same. Let's give it to
And the Cowboys
Cowboys
could
just to
want
fuck
to
up their
like have a
draft pick.
prideful win at the end of the year.
Yeah, exactly. And fuck up the draft pick.
Yeah. So I'll say Cowboys.
And then Eagles beat the Giants to have a shot for the 1 seed.
I think they're going to play their starters, so I think they're going to care.
Yeah. If they win without picking the Lions yet, they would slot in as the 1 seed. I definitely think the Eagles win that.
And so then that makes me think the Lions are going to win against Minnesota because I could see Minnesota being like, we don't care. Like, we're not,
If
unless
the
they
if the
want it.
Vikings win and the Lions lose,
The
the one
Vikings
that's probably
win.
easier to pick would be the Packers over the Bears. The Packers always dominate Chicago, right?
Mhm.
That's a pretty big win for Green Bay. That'd be 14-3, which means Lions versus Vikings. The Vikings cannot win the division, but they can keep the Lions from winning it themselves and being the 1 seed.
Mhm.
If the Lions win, they're the 1 seed at 14-3. Vikings win. Lions are a wild card team. I think Vikings win
Mhm.
a split.
Yeah. I think so. Let's do Vikings. And
Okay.
then,
And
yeah,
now let's go back for the Chargers. I
it
could
has
see
to be
them
a
losing
fourth.
to Tampa.
Yeah, that one kind of feels like one they could lose.
Let's say Tampa wins.
All right.
And that would
Yeah.
put the Chargers at 11-6 facing off against Baltimore.
Get a rematch.
You know the NFL would rather see that happen.
Hmm.
You know that's what they want. And also line up. So okay, so this is our official.
Division rivalry against the Chiefs and
Oh,
Denver
I love it, man.
in the first round.
Espe-
That's so cool.
and they play each other week 18 and we're giving
Yeah,
the Broncos the win. Oh, dude. Yeah.
that's
This will
cool.
be fun. Chiefs. So 1 seed's the Bills, they get the bye. Chiefs beat the Broncos, right?
I think so.
Ravens probably beat the Chargers again.
I hope
Probably.
not, but yeah,
If
probably.
Dobbins isn't healthy, I can't see it happening. I watched that shit happen, man. Like it it did kind of come down to that fourth and that fourth down when they went for it on their own like 16
Mm-hmm.
before the end of the second quarter. But with no Dobbins, like that was really just the nail in the coffin. The Chargers
Yeah.
offense sucked after that point. I'd go Ravens in the playoffs, and then I'd go
Hmm.
Steelers over the Colts for sure on the
Yeah,
road.
for
So
sure.
then we'd get Bills Steelers. Who you got there?
Bills, Steelers. I'd pick the Bills.
Same. Chiefs hosting the Ravens. Gotta go Chiefs, right?
I think Chiefs.
Yeah. Ravens
Yeah.
defense just isn't good enough.
And then Chiefs, Buffalo. I'm gonna say Buffalo aspirationally.
I would love to see Buffalo, but I'm gonna go Chiefs, man.
Yeah.
That's what happens every year. The Bills win in the regular season, the
Mhm.
Chiefs win in the playoffs. That's what I
Yeah.
think. So Chiefs in the Super Bowl. What a surprise.
Mhm.
And then in the NFC bracket, Eagles get the 1 seed at 14-3.
Mhm.
Packers we have winning the division at 14-3 as well. They're the 2
Mhm.
seed hosting Washington. I'd go Green Bay.
I'd go Green Bay too. I think like, Jaden's still a rookie. I'd go Green Bay.
Yeah, it's a nice story with Washington, but I don't think they have
Mhm.
enough. Going into the weather of Green Bay, I'll take the
Yeah.
Packers for sure. Tampa hosting Minnesota. That's really interesting.
I think I'd go Tampa.
I'd go Vikings, but
Interesting. Yeah.
the Vikings are so snake bitten in the playoffs. Then yeah, it's
Mhm.
not impossible. But I think it'd be more interesting to see the Vikings advance. I'm gonna go Vikings, but
Sure.
and then oh dude, this is totally what's gonna happen. Like the
Mhm.
Rams hosting the Lions,
Oh
four
yeah.
5.
Man, I would love it to be the Rams.
I would love it too, but
The Lions are
shit.
good. Like they have a lot of injuries though, and who knows what's gonna keep happening.
Let's go Rams.
Let's go Rams.
Oh, it'd be so sad if Detroit loses, man.
I
But
know.
That's
I think if the Rams are healthy, I think they could put up a fight against anybody.
I had
Just
the
because of that
Rams going
coach.
to the NFC Championship in the preseason, and they're
Hmm.
one of those teams that like they can put up a perfect game if they need to.
Stafford on his best day is easily like a top five quarterback on his best day.
Oh
He
yeah.
you might not get his best day,
Oh
but on his
shit,
best day,
man.
he's a top five quarterback
That's
for
gonna be
sure.
such a good game because we've seen
Hmm.
it twice in Detroit. Now it's
Hmm.
Goff returning home.
Hmm.
Oh shit. But probably a heavy Lions crowd as well. Damn, that's a good
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Lions, I think lose. Oh fuck. Okay,
Hmm.
so that would set up a Eagles Vikings game.
Eagles.
I go Eagles as well. End of the road for Darnold, but fun
Hmm.
ride. And then a
Hmm.
Packers hosting the Rams matchup. I'm gonna go Packers.
Probably it should be.
You'd
It should
think,
be.
right? They got the youth.
Yeah, it should be Packers. But then I'm picking Eagles over Packers.
I'm gonna go Packers over Eagles, bro.
Yeah,
Well,
fair enough.
I'm biased. My preseason Super Bowl pick was
Yeah.
Chiefs over Packers, so I'm
I
just gonna
think the
stick with what I
Eagles
thought.
I think the Eagles have be like they have a top defense and they've really figured out their offensive identity. So I'm like, all right, y'all got it figured out.
Well, do you remember the Brazil game, week one?
Mostly just because I was thinking a rematch between Chiefs and Eagles.
Oh,
Uh,
that'd be dope, but that'd be fucking dope.
mhm.
I don't know if we get it, but
Yeah.
I think that'd be a better matchup. I think we're gonna get spoiled and we're gonna inevitably get the Chiefs fucking three-peating. Like
Hmm.
I think the Eagles would beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, but I
I
think
do too.
something's gonna go against them and the Packers. I'm gonna take the Packers on the road,
Hmm.
but
Fair enough.
damn.
And then, yeah,
So,
Chiefs repeating.
so would you go in your scenario,
If
Eagles
it's
Chiefs? Who would you have winning?
Eagles, I'd
Eagles.
pick Eagles.
Same.
But
In that
if
scenario,
it's
I'd go
Packers
Eagles.
Chiefs, I'd pick Chiefs.
Yeah. Fuck, man.
Yeah,
This was fun.
this is fun. I'm looking forward to it.
These would be great playoff matchups. Like
Oh, for
Baker
sure.
versus Darnold, the redemption quarterback. Like those are the two first quarterbacks to be taken in that draft. It went Baker, Saquon, Darnold that
Yep.
year. Damn, that'd be really good. And then Jaden Daniels
Mhm.
versus Jordan Love, like fun with Jaden Daniels, but you know, it's like Stroud. Like if he wins a playoff game, like that's a big shocker. But
For
then
sure.
Stafford hosting Goff, that'd be fucking awesome. Colts
Hmm.
and Steelers, like that'd be a fun upset for the Colts if they won. I would
Hmm.
love to see that. But then another horrible. I
Hmm.
thought this was destined from the jump. I had the Ravens as the 2 seed back in August, but 3-6 also feels about right. And then Chiefs Denver,
Hmm.
that'll be a tight game no matter what.
Yeah, for
Fuck
sure.
man.
I'm excited.
Oh, this was fun. Let us know in the
Hmm.
comments if you disagree with these matchups, but I think the only one that like could
Hmm.
change would be like Seattle instead of the Rams.
Yeah,
And we know
sure.
the NFL likes to nudge things for the playoffs. Like I don't subscribe to like the entire season is rigged,
No.
but if there's one part that's rigged, it's the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh, for
At
sure.
least the matchups that they set up. I like they want the
Yeah.
best narrative.
If they could make Detroit and the Rams match up, they're going to do that.
It's a
I feel
television
like
show.
I feel like if the Jets were viable, they'd be trying to figure out a way to make it uh, Jets Green Bay somehow.
Right. Yeah. That'd be but we're not going to get that as a Super Bowl matchup, that's for sure.
No.
So, damn man.
Right on, man. Yeah, this was fun.
Good vid and
Yeah.
good luck to you in the playoffs. Let's check the
We're
current
50-50
score.
right now, 49-51. So kind of holding true. You're getting a lot of good little yardage plays. Gibbs has some catches.
So Gibbs has 3.3, JMO has 4.4, 2 catches for 34 yards. I'll take it.
Hey,
I'm happy with
slow
that.
grind.
Goff with 2.7 so far. Yeah, I feel good that I benched him for Caleb. I like that decision.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah, man. Good
Good
luck.
good luck to you, bro.
Right
We'll
on,
check
man.
back in a week.
Hell yeah. And I'll talk to you later, buddy.
Have a good one. Yo, just chiming in after the fact. We recorded that video at the beginning of that Lions Packers game. So we did pick the Packers, and that was the wrong choice. So I wanted to correct the record after the fact. Based on that loss, it's the second in division for the Packers to Detroit this season. There's pretty much no mathematical way they can now overtake the division from the Lions. It's going to take a lot of heavy lifting, and even if there's a tie at 13-4, the Packers wouldn't make it. So I think the Detroit Lions are pretty much destined for the 1 seed. The only way I could see that not happening is if they lose Week 17 at the Niners. It's possible, but I really doubt it. At this point, maybe I'm wrong, but San Francisco would need to beat them in order for that to change. So that's the only way the Eagles would win the 1 seed. I feel like the Eagles are kind of destined for a tie at 14-3 with Detroit, and unless they do beat Washington, like maybe that could happen, it's probably going to be the case where Detroit is the 1 seed, assuming they beat San Francisco after all in week 17. So this is the more likely playoff bracket where Detroit does get the bye, and then we have another division rivalry between the Eagles and Washington. That's pretty much a lock for Philly. Maybe it doesn't happen, but I think if it's in the Eagles' home stadium, Saquon will dominate. So give that to Philly, in my opinion. Let's stick with Darnold over Baker for the sake of entertainment. And then the Rams now get Green Bay. That is more of a coin flip. I kind of feel like the Rams at home could win that. But let's just stick with Green Bay, given that's what me and Angus were talking about. So now instead of the Rams in our previous scenario, we have Detroit as the 1 seed who then face off against Minnesota. I'd probably take Detroit there at home in division. I'd probably give it to the Lions, but maybe their defensive injuries are a problem. The bye, though, that playoff bye really matters a lot to them. But then we get Eagles versus Green Bay, and I did pick Green Bay with Angus. He took Green Bay. He took Philly, and regardless, we're probably destined for either a Detroit Green Bay rematch or an Eagles Lions game. And that'd probably be more fun. It'd be a bit anticlimactic with Green Bay, especially after the loss to Detroit after the fact. So we'll see what happens, but most likely it's Philly versus Detroit in the NFC Championship game, like most people thought. So that'll be fun, a lot of fun, and yeah, it was a entertaining video. And we did kind of not really address the teams that missed the playoffs, and I kind of want to do that now. At the bottom here, you can notice we do see all of the records for every team based on our predictions. So we didn't really address the teams that missed the playoffs, and it would be interesting. I feel like Carolina is probably going to win one of those games. We didn't give the Panthers a single game, and they have been playing a little bit better. Let's change something. I wanted to give them that Buccaneers game. Where is it? Week 17. And if that changes, not only would they have 4 wins, but then Atlanta at 9-8 would have the tiebreaker. That Week 17 game is huge for Tampa. So that's a pivotal matchup. We'll see what happens there. It would really mix things up in that division because the Bucs need a full game outright in order to clinch. There's no way if there's a tie that they have the tiebreaker over the Falcons. So that'll be important, and we'll see what happens. Overall, it's going to be fun regardless. But the teams that missed the playoffs, we do have at the bottom Carolina tied with the New York Giants and Las Vegas at 3-14. We know that the Giants did beat Carolina, so at worst, New York would have a top 2 pick based on these picks today, and they're definitely getting a quarterback. That's obvious. They're obviously tanking for one, and they will get one. Maybe it's Shedeur. I don't know what the exact tiebreakers between Vegas and the Giants would be out of conference. So that's a coin flip there. I do not know. But after the 3 of them, I think Carolina will be the number 3 pick. Jacksonville at 4-13, tied with New England and the Jets at 4-13. Not too surprising with that. But then at 5 wins, we do have Cleveland. And then at 6 wins, there is San Fran, the Saints, Chicago, and Tennessee. That's pretty rough for San Francisco in that grouping. But they do get a high pick. We'll see what happens there. Dallas at 7 wins, so not the highest pick for them, along with Cincinnati. So that Monday night game could determine who gets the best draft pick between the two. I do have Cincy, and that means Dallas might get the edge come draft day in April. But then at 8 wins, we do have Houston, who would be missing the playoffs in our prediction, along with Arizona at 8 wins. I did predict them for 8 wins in the preseason, but I did drop it down to 7, I think, when it did come down to crunch time. Yeah, in like September, I bumped it down to 7. But Arizona looks pretty solid this season. And then at 9 wins, sorry, my cat she's now right in the way. She's right in front of the screen. At 9 wins, missing the playoffs, we do have the Miami Dolphins and Seattle Seahawks, along with Atlanta Falcons, winning season for them, but they do not make it into the dance. So the only team that I think like really I missed on in my preseason predictions would be Houston. I feel like I massively overestimated Houston. And then a team that I also overestimated would be Atlanta, along with the Bears. Yeah, the Bears. I was very wrong about the Bears. And then Cincinnati. Otherwise, my playoff picks, yeah, I'm missing 2 teams in both. The Colts and Texans. One of those 2 will be right, but I was definitely too low on Houston. At this point, I think they could miss the playoffs. So we'll see about that. But interesting first overall pick. If it does go to Vegas, maybe we get Shedeur and Deion Sanders in Vegas. That would be an interesting Mark Davis decision. I could envision that, in all honesty. I couldn't really envision both of them going to New York with the Giants. I could see it happening with the Raiders. But, yeah, who knows? And it's going to be fun. Anyways, that's going to be it for me. I hope you enjoyed that podcast episode with Angus. And I will be posting quarterback rankings later today. Anyways, I'll see you next time.